On this week's episode, we talk about the unbearable weight of massive talent.
And so many other movies and TV shows because, hey, we are back.
Not that we ever went anywhere.
And, of course, pop culture news.
So, it's been a while.
Yeah, and if it's your first time, welcome to Retina. I'm Alex.
And I'm Chelsea.
And we're here to talk about movies and TV and books, comic books, news. We just got back from the newest Nicolas Cage movie called The Unbearable Weight of a Massive Talent with Nicolas Cage.
As Nicolas Cage.
As Nicolas Cage. And Nikki and some other classic movie characters. So also starring Pedro, Pascal, and
Tiffany Hadish.
And I forgot the
Neil Patrick Harris very briefly.
Patrick Harris. And that guy, there's twin with the other guy from the other show.
Yeah.
And they were both
who was just in that series. They were both in After Party.
American Auto, yeah.
Oh yes.
They were brothers on that show.
Mm-hmm. Anyways. Super fun movie. Do we want to get into like spoilers and stuff?
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
So, we're not going to get deep into the movie. We're not going to tell the whole story, but, we don't want to spoil anything. So if you don't want to hear that, skip the next 20, 30 minutes to go to the news. And all the spoilers.
Yeah. So this one I've been looking forward to, like, from the second we saw the trailer, like, Nicolas Cage playing Nicolas Cage and a movie about Nicolas, and it did not disappoint at all. So the basic premise is that...
Wait, it's a Nicolas Cage movie. Nicolas Cage movies never disappoint.
Well, if they do, it's not because of Nicolas Cage. It is for other reasons, but it's never because of him, because he's great. The premise of this one is that he's an actor who is hit a bit of a slump in his career. His marriage is falling apart. His teenage daughter is like sick of him, and he gets an offer, like $1 million, to come show up at this guy's birthday party in Mallorca. And so he goes, and things go crazy, and hijinks ensue, and that's basically the gist of the premise.
Yes. And the movie is very interesting because it's Nicolas Cage. He goes to this rich guy's mansion in Spain. Pedro Pascal in Spain. And the guy is a big fan. That's why he invited him. Hired him for his birthday. He's a big fan. And also as a big fan, he has a passion for, I guess, for the movies. And he writes, and he wrote a script for Nicolas Cage to be in. And because there's this whole thing, being an actor in a movie about making a movie, and there's this whole meta moments in the movie that they talk about. Oh, but you have to. Oh, there's a moment that Nicolas Cage decided to write a movie with this guy. And when they write in the movie, there's all sorts of ideas that come that end up being on that movie and becoming the movie that movie will be, and the movie we watch, which is like uber meta, and it's very funny. It's very smart. There's a lot of Nicolas Cage jokes and references, and if you know him, you're gonna see a lot of reference to his movies and to his roles, and the guy is fun, and playing himself, I don't know, I don't think that's him, because if it's him, that would be really awesome. I mean, he has issues. He's had family issues.
He has, and similar issues to what kind of plays out in the beginning of this, issues with finances and his reputation and as an actor and things like that.
And he makes jokes about how, Nick, you should stop. You should leave them wanting more. Let them miss you. It's like, no, I'm working. This is my work.
Job,
I'm gonna keep working. This is my job. I need to pay bills. And Nicolas Cage talking about that in recent interviews. He does a lot. He never stops. When I was a kid, there was a joke that Chuck Norris was on everything and anything. He would never stop making movies. Nicolas Cage reached that point because Chuck Norris stopped, and Nicolas Cage never stopped, and he does everything and anything, and a lot of things that even make the theaters, they make home video and streaming, and some good things, some really good things. We saw Pig not long ago, and it was really good. This one is another one. It doesn't have any big studios backing it like majorly. It may be helping distributing, but it's definitely not a big studio. It's not like an MGM production.
Or New Line or something like that.
They even joke about Marvel movies and Star Wars. They have their own audience. That is, forever, whatever you make. Morbius, people will watch and they will love, or claim they love, or maybe they love because I don't know, they've been conditioned to love.
But I mean, there's all kinds of people out there, and
true.
Some movies speak to some and others don't.
Yeah,
and that's okay. But
anyways, but this one is really, really fun. Everybody on the movie does a terrific job,
and it's really sweet. There's great. So there's a lot of like character driven stuff, especially the relationship between. Well, we spend the most time with the relationship between Nicolas Cage and Javi, Pedro Pascal's character. But a lot of it is also about Nicolas Cage trying to heal his relationship with his daughter. He's mostly focused on his daughter, but then kind of as a result, things get better with his ex-wife, soon to be ex-wife. It wasn't really clear. And so that was like a beautiful. I thought that was really nice. It was really gave it some heart, gave it some substance.
And there's
this insane storyline where like also there's a kidnapping. What? And the CIA.
And there's a scene that when Nicolas Cage's character and Pedro Pascal's character writing the movie they are writing.
Yeah.
There ends up being a movie inside the movie on this movie. And they talk like it has everything for everybody, It has emotion, it has a love between a man and a woman. It has a romantic love, so it has parental love, about kids and helping kids. It has
the friendship between
the bromance. It has action.
Oh yeah.
It has references, to pop culture. In this case, specific Nicolas Cage's movies. It has there's some artsy film students jokes about this is like Stanislavski's, a little bit of Cassavetes, it's like super,
He comes in as a thespian.
Yeah.
Which I just which he calls like his shamanic sense, his thespian shamanics, something like, oh my gosh.
Shamanic.
I never heard that word before, but I'm not a thespian.
You better believe it.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I'm not a storyteller, a myth maker.
Anyways, it has comedy throughout the entire movie. It has action. It has a bad guy. There is a bad guy. Nobody's trying to hide the bad guy.
Yeah, I know. He's just straight up the worst.
And it has stars. It has Nicolas Cage. It has Pedro Pascal.
Did we mention Nicolas Cage that he's in this?
Oh yes, yeah. And since we are on the spoiler alert, he does interpret a version of himself, a younger version of himself.
It's like his
on
inner
the movie.
voice.
That's a character from one of his movies. I can't remember the name. As Wild. Check real quick. Nicolas Cage movie, Wild.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna take me forever to get through that.
If you go to Nicolas Cage, you're gonna be on.
There's like a million movies.
No, go to IMDb. It should be on the. That's right. The guy makes a lot of movies.
Yeah.
And he won an Oscar. He's a Oscar winner for Live in Las Vegas. So he proved himself more than once. Wild Heart, is there anything like Wild Heart?
Unbearable, see.
You can see that. I can barely see. So.
Yeah. Well, I've got to save the battery.
Okay.
This would be an older one, right?
Yeah, but it's
Just scroll down a little bit. The filmography. Oh my gosh.
Crazy Heart. No, it's not Crazy Heart. And there's Wild Savage.
Yeah, I'm never gonna make it.
Yeah.
I'll try Google.
Yeah.
Carry on.
So, it is a younger version of himself, specifically from this movie.
Wild at Heart?
Wild at Heart with Nicolas Cage. Check the poster. I mean, you check. I can see. Yeah, it looks like that. I don't know.
Yeah, he's got this like snakeskin jacket here.
Yeah, but there's a Nicolas Cage heart, because yeah, maybe it's that one. Because I remember that no. Anyways, the logo on the shirt, I think is that one. Maybe it's that one. Anyways, so it's a younger version of him, CGI, their face to look young, and he's wearing a beard as his current him, so I guess it helps to differentiate. He's like this blonde little hair. I think that's not it because of the blonde hair.
Yeah. I don't know.
We gotta find out later. I will find out later.
We'll put it in the hashtags.
Yeah, but so there's this debate, and there's some of the very comedic moments. There's these debates between the two personas, and there's a moment, crazy enough, that they kiss each other.
Oh my gosh!
And he doesn't resist. It's like
Nick Cage smooches good.
Acting. It's like, the epitome of the self-love and the self-aggrandizing that some actors, I'm not saying everybody, but it comes with the craft, I would assume.
Yeah, it would make sense. And it was a great way of portraying that. He really owns like all the foibles that come with doing what he does.
Yeah.
I feel like he owns it and he just like puts it on display and magnifies it.
Yeah.
Really beautifully.
But by all means, it's if you know Nicolas Cage, he's always working. And on the recent interviews, he said he paid all his bills and he's happy about it, and he doesn't regret working. Just like Michael Caine back in the day.
That's right. Was it Jaws?
3? No, 2. I think it was 2 because there's no role that looks like him on 3.
Yeah.
I never seen 2.
Either way, it was a film that's widely not popular, and he got some criticism for it. Like, hey, it paid for, I can't remember if it was his house or his pool or a kid to go to college, but like, it's a job.
It's a job and it pays.
Providing for a family and respect.
So, Mr. Nicolas Cage, it's on The Unbearable Weight of a Massive Talent on theaters everywhere, and we recommend. It's fun.
Definitely.
What's the rating?
Probably R. There were lots of F words. Yeah.
So
yeah. I would think so, just for the language.
So rated R, because it's Nicolas mother in Cage. So yeah, it's. But so fun. Anything else about it?
There was one line that I really liked, and I don't know if it was supposed to be a joke, and I just like ate it up or not. But at one point, he's talking about retiring, but he starts talking about how it's an honor to be part of one of humanity's most ancient traditions, storytelling and myth making. And he, like, in a lot of the film, he's being like a little bit facetious and a little bit satirical about acting and stuff. But I thought that was a really nice way to describe why movies matter and why, like, I don't know, why this could be like so emotional and why it could be so cool. Like, they're storytellers and they're creating modern myth, and I don't know, I just thought that was kind of nice.
Yeah.
A little gem to take from what's otherwise a fantastic comedy.
A bit of, self-loving and self-grandizing, but But the movie's also this too, like, it's also kind of a love letter to movies and how great movies are and how important they are. And of course, the 3 seconds moments, like when he looks at, it's like, do you love her? His eyes close up. It's
It's really just a great showcase for like Nicolas Cage and his range and some of that like crazy energy.
And apparently is the best rated Nicolas Cage movie to date on Rotten Tomatoes. Not that Rotten Tomatoes matters, but still
it's nice to see.
Yeah. It's people are loving it because it was made for people to love it.
Yeah.
It doesn't preach you anything.
No.
It doesn't deviate from the story. The story from beginning to end is, there's some hints in the beginning of what's going to happen in the end, overshadowing. Some are bad, some are good. But, you saw the trailer, you liked it, you should see the movie. You're going to love it.
Yeah. There weren't a ton of people in the theater, but everybody was full laughing out loud. throughout the film.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Of course, there was
good.
a couple moments that you would hear less people laughing because some of the jokes are very specific for Nicolas Cage fan.
No, I definitely laughed pretty loud a couple times, and there was just sort of my laughter, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, he's killing me!" Oh, Nick.
Anyways, Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent available everywhere.
Yeah.
Other movie that I saw this week was Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I had a special guest, and she's gonna tell you what she thought about the movie.
The new Hedgehog is good, and I liked that Knuckles, the bad guy, was starting bad, but then he became friends with Sonic, the good guy, and Tails. And Tails was pretty cool because he could fly, but he also was pretty fast.
Cool. Thanks, Andy.
Yeah. So Andy saw the movie and she really liked it. It's really fun. It's really entertaining. It's a sequel to Sonic the Hedgehog with John Rolfe, I can't remember his name, voicing Sonic. He does a terrific job.
Does
Jim Carrey voices. Jim Carrey is Dr. Robotnik. James Marsden is Donald Lord. He's the sheriff. Something Jake Wazowski. The mom from Grownish. Mixed Dish. Yeah. I also don't remember the name. Shamar. Oh, I can't remember. The guy from SWAT. He also, I think he voices Cyborg on the Justice League animations. No, animation movies, not the animation.
Lamar. Oh, nope.
Shamar Lamar. Anyways. The sequel does really great job. Oh, and of course, Idris Elba doing Knuckles.
Nice.
And who voices Tails is the same person that voices Tails on a video game, which is really good because
Cool.
What's this expression say? Talent to a talent do? No, it's anyways. So really great job, really fun and entertaining. The Andy, a kid, she loved it, she enjoyed it. There's if you're gonna see, there's a post credit in the end, teasing a next one. And they should do a next one because first one was good, this one was good, it was very successful, and they overcame the debacle. There was the actual first trailer that was so bad,
right.
that
Sonic's appearance.
Yeah,
I remember that.
The audiences, the fans, demanded to fix it, and they fixed it.
They did,
which is a good thing that we get from the internet, that people have voice to change things.
Yeah. And it was a good thing the studio had a chance to fix it rather than wait for the release and have it bomb because Sonic looked
and in this case
terrible.
worked. In this case worked really nice. It was not like Cats that it was bad. They fixed it and it was too bad.
Well, the source material. There's only so much they could do.
But this one was really, really good for a sequel. It's usually the sequel is
expectations.
This one actually went up, elevated, and built on it. Of course, there was some jokes. There was crafted exclusively for fans of the video games, fan of video games per se. There's one funny one that he has to go underwater. He has to go underwater or go on the top of the water. Can't remember one moment, but I know he has to go underwater, and he says water again, and that's something that video game players in the entire planet have been through. This, like you playing an entire game, and there's a level there's underwater, and when there's another one, it's like water again. It's like and so that's jokes that would only work for certain audiences. Of course, there's the mushroom jokes that from the first movie, and it keeps going. This one, and the mushroom joke is a poke at Mario because of the mushrooms and stuff. But overall, really good. As Andy said, and I agreed, it was good. You should go see it with your kids, or if you don't have kids, by yourself.
It's allowed.
Okay, so these are the movies we saw this week. But we've been away for a little bit.
Yeah.
And we saw so many things. We're going to go through some of those. And then you're going to do the news. So, let's see. What are you going to see? What do you want to say first?
Let's see. Well,
Fantastic Beasts.
Fantastic Beasts is basically... Okay. Newt's Commander is always great. There was some really cool dueling and a couple of new characters. Well, one new character in particular that I super loved. Other than that, it was basically J.K. Rowling writing a whole screenplay around the magical world, or around Dumbledore, around her trying to tell the fans that Dumbledore is perfect and good and pure in every way because magic says so. And that's it.
What about? Don't you think you mentioned Commander? You don't think she's being pushed to the side since second movie?
Absolutely.
Yeah, which is a mistake because
it is.
I mean, the title of the movies. It's
Fantastic Beasts.
It's the Fantastic Beast guy.
Yeah. And that's what people loved. The first movie was so good. Probably my favorite of the Harry Potter franchise because it was something like new and totally original and everything we love about the magical world, the wizarding world, but then also like expanding it and yeah, it was new and wonderful. And then the second one, they kind of shoved in the Crimes of Grindelwald, but okay. And then this one, it was barely Newt Scamander, and it was just basically like a huge, a huge defense for Dumbledore. Because recently the fandom has been a little critical of Dumbledore. This is what I think has happened. The fandom's been a little critical of Dumbledore.
Don't you think Star Wars
did
the same with Obi-Wan Kenobi? When we met Obi-Wan Kenobi, we don't know much about him, and then the prequels trilogy is a lot about how awesome he is.
No, that's totally different.
Yeah?
Because we loved Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then we got backstory on him, but it was backstory for the whole thing. This one started out as Newt Scamander and a whole new part of the wizarding world, and then everything that was good about that first movie has been slowly shoved aside to give us more of something that we didn't want. And frankly, it's called Secrets of Dumbledore.
There's no secret.
There was nothing new.
Yeah.
Nothing new was revealed. We already knew all of that. There were a couple details, but like, it's like it was like saying, oh, by the way, this person's shirt was blue. Like it wasn't anything substantive that was revealed.
Just one thing I want.
Overall, I was disappointed.
I want to say is that the big plot twist at the end of the second movie was I mean, in my view, unnecessarily destroyed, disconstructed.
Yeah.
Like he I mean, spoiler alert, you know that, still on that. He's his brother, and then it turns out that he's not his brother, he's his brother's son. And I was like, oh.
Ooh, but it had little to do with the plot.
It kind of
film.
fixes it and overcomplicates it, and it was like,
It rendered it unnecessary. It was like, to me, it was like Snoke being killed right away by Kylo Ren. It was like, this was like, why was this a big deal? Like, he doesn't even matter. It's
somehow Palpatine.
He could have not existed. No, it's not even Palpatine. It was just like Snoke was supposed to be like, oh, so cool and evil and bad, supreme leader, and he could have not existed. We would have had the same films. Like it doesn't matter.
I mean, but the problem there is that The Last Jedi suck. Anyways.
Well, there's that too. But I mean, there are some similar writing problems here, and which is disappointing because the first one was so good.
Yeah, it's like they want to expand, like, you know, the expanded universe and Star Wars and books and comic books and everywhere. They expand away from the core characters, giving them new characters, interesting stories on the same universe.
Yep.
They might meet. If they not meet, they might know them. They're influenced because they're legendary, they're mythical, they are the core characters for a reason. So they have characters that expand away from that, and boom, you have a new franchise, sub-franchise, spin-off, call it how you want. But on the second one, they decided, it's like, no, let's get closer.
Yeah.
And they got too close to the point that they might make, I mean, there's rumors that they're only going to make another one if this one is financially successful.
And so far it's not.
But at this point, if especially how they ended this one, they might continue. They might do another one without Scamander, without what's the name of the baker? Larry.
Kowalski.
Without Kowalski, without her, the girl, without the other girl, which was already a thing on this one. They somehow get the girl
which is
out of the movie.
Yeah, it made no sense, but
it feels like they, especially how Dumbledore is sitting outside and they are celebrating inside. It's like, okay, this story is over. Now it's about Dumbledore, and I don't know. They might commit the same mistakes in the future one, and instead of these new characters, they would bring. I guess they would be too young, right? The Potters.
Yeah, the Potters don't show up until like the 70s.
Okay.
So you'd have to jump a good 30, 40 years.
Yeah. Anyways,
and then the 70s, like they're kids in the 70s.
Yeah. Okay, so there you have it, Fantastic Beasts. Also, we saw another great piece of cinematic crap. Morbius.
Oh, so
Marvel,
disappointing.
Sony Spider-Man villain movie.
So the trailer was fun, and it was better than the movie.
Spider-Man is a great character.
Yeah.
Stan Lee did a great job with a simple character, simple story. Guy gets bit by a spider, gets superpowers and the power responsibility, the drill, and go fights crime, and has to protect his old aunt, and he has high school problems. He's young and he has love, and love dies, and he has to overcome that. Terrific character, the best, probably the best character that Marvel comics have or ever produce or whoever produced.
I like to say that people, it doesn't matter. Well, there's two heroes that people like regardless of what their fandoms are or whatever. Everybody loves Spider-Man, everybody loves Batman, and yeah, Spider-Man is universally popular regardless of whether or not you're
great character. Sony got into this deal with Disney Marvel that they split half and they do Spider-Man movies. But Sony wants to make money on Spider-Man by themselves, so they decided to make Spider-Man villains movies. They did first Venom, that was meh. I would say it was mediocre.
Yeah, it started out and
then they did the second one that was awful because anyways. And then they did Morbius with Jared Leto, the great Jared Leto. That
it should have been cool. Vampires and
and Matt Smith, they start dancing
and
fighting and yes, Morbius, if you want to see it, it's still out there. But and Sony is not done. They're still gonna make more supervillain movies. There's a Craven one with what's his bucket? He's Kick-Ass. He was Quicksilver in the Avengers movies. He was in the Godzilla movies. I can't remember his name. Anyways, and it's like he was Quicksilver. It's like you're casting him. It's like they limited themselves. I don't know. Maybe it's good agents. Maybe it's good deals. But even Jared Leto, he was the Joker. He was what else? He's pretty much everything. Oh, Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy was Bane.
That's and right.
Also, it's like you saw the guy was good there. Let's bring him here. It's like it might not work, and it did.
Yeah.
So Craven.
Well, to be fair, Tom Hardy didn't have a good screenplay to work with. He did everything just right.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Madame Spider, I can't remember her name. Madame Arachnis. Anyways, this is gonna be Dakota Johnson, and of course the good movies. We assume they're gonna be good movies that Sony's gonna bring about the Spider-Verse is into Across the Spider-Verse. It's gonna be 2 movies. They just got delayed to 2023 and 2024. Anyways, Morbius with Jared Leto, the girl from Good Omens, and Matt Smith, and interconnected jokes and teases.
Jared Harris is in it.
Jared Harris. Yeah. Interconnected jokes and teases of how the multiverse is connected and how there's always going to culminate on something, I don't know. I wouldn't say good, but who knows.
Yeah, it's all just decidedly...
Yeah. So
I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, it's like the thing that excites you in the movie is the post-credit scene if only the post-credit scene is like, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah. So don't worry about it.
Okay, what else? We saw Batman, the Batman. Matt Reeves' interpretation of the Gotham Dark Knight, the Dark Detective, the greatest detective.
Yeah, which is something I really loved in this. He really plays up Batman's, like, the aspect of Batman that he's the world's greatest detective. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, no, definitely is a good side of Batman. The movie is visually stunning. It's very beautiful.
It is very dark, but it takes place at night. So to everyone who complains about DC movies being dark and movies being poorly lit nowadays, I don't know what you're looking for, because the film literally takes place at night, and that's kind of the whole point of it.
Yeah, it has very, very daylight scenes, which involuntarily tells you some about the character, right? That Bruce sleeps during the day.
Yeah,
he's not a person. Bruce Wayne is not a person. He is the Batman, and it has really interesting things. Has really after I think a week or two after the movie was out, there was a scene with the Joker. Deleted scene with the Joker for the movie. There's a very tiny little scene with the Joker at the end of the movie, but people went crazy about this new Joker, which anyways, but the Batman exclusively is like it has a lot of what was the movie we saw, the animation we saw? It was
Long Halloween.
The Long Halloween, the animation adaptation part 2. They had the relation between Selina and Falcone, and
and also the relationship between Falcone and the Waynes.
And the my fear was that they would make the Waynes like really, really bad, like criminal people, which they didn't do that as much. They were indirectly responsible for some things. They made mistakes. They were not.
But it was simply because they made it very clear, like, the Waynes were really good people trying to do a lot of good, and they just made mistakes. Even
though they teased something about the Waynes back in the 1800s when they found Gotham and stuff, but it's something that remains to see. Overall,
but that's not Bruce's parents.
Yeah,
they still remain
the
people who raised Bruce, at least as a child, and.
Yeah, because the whole marketing of the film was like the truth is gonna be revealed, and something about the truth, and there was a scene on the trailer, Batman Bruce talking to Alfred, like, "Why you never told me?" And I was like, my concern of that. They didn't do that, but overall it was okay. I don't know. I feel like the timeline is. I feel like the guy still looks super young, and is it what's his second year as Batman?
I think second, yeah. And it's still very early on. He's still figuring out who Batman is and what Batman's role is in Gotham, and his relationship with Selina does a lot to transform who Batman is.
Yeah. So overall, I thought it was okay. I have to rewatch it and see what my concerns watching the first time are, but it's not bad.
Overall, I really loved it. Even though there may have been a few choices that I wouldn't have made, I felt like it was different. Batman has gotten so much screen time, so many films, so many series, and all the rest. If you're gonna step up and try to do another one, I feel like you need to do something different that's like actually worth watching, and I feel like Matt Reeves accomplished that. I feel like he accomplished that. There were some kind of heavy-handed visual metaphors, but it was nice. I liked what they did with the story and how the Batman kind of evolved throughout the film, even if it felt maybe a little bit rushed, like it unrealistic that it would happen in that amount of time. It made sense for the film. Anyway, I thought it was really good. Definitely worth seeing.
The Batman, Matt Reeves, with Robert Pattinson and Colin Farrell. That doesn't look like Colin Farrell.
Zoe
Kravitz, and many more. Yeah. It's available on HBO Max right now, and available for digital if you're gonna buy it soon, and on digital 4K. Yeah.
Yeah.
The movie is doing really well on the box office worldwide. So
yeah, as it should.
Yeah. Since we talk about DC and money and DC making movies, Discovery bought Warner Brothers Studios, and now it's called Warner Brothers Discovery. I wonder why they put the Discovery last. I guess because Warner Brothers has a bigger name. Bigger name. Well, one bought the other, so technically they're not bigger. Anyways, they overhauling DC and a lot of the company is changing. It's gonna be layoffs. The usuals, like for instance, CNN came up with a streaming service 3 weeks ago, and it was failing. It's like, it's failing. You gone out. Yeah. No time for discussion. We're here to do it well. It's not working. You're not gonna do it. So,
our condolences to the CNN team. But we all knew this
most of the executives of Warner Brothers are leaving, and they're gonna be replaced with Discovery people, with new people, which brings hope to restore the Snyderverse movement, because someone that doesn't have grudges, someone that don't have biases, someone that is smart will figure, it's like, hey, there's a lot of people backing this.
Yeah.
Let's do this. And that's why Warner Brothers announced their upfront. When is the date?
That's a great question. Hold, please.
The upfront. And I didn't put the date.
You didn't.
But it's in May, which I call that upfront day the Zack Snyder
Restoration
Day. The Snyderverse Restoration Day, because they're gonna do a lot of announcements. And one of the things was the CEO of this new company said is, we're gonna fix things. We're gonna it's like, we feel like characters like Superman has been relegated concerning movies, and he's the big one. He's the best one. He's Superman. The first one after him came all the bronze,
that's right,
gold, silver age of superheroes, and him, Batman, and he feels like he's been relegated. So and Snyder's always teasing stuff. So who knows? Such a pill. Yeah. Anyways,
I hope it's not false hope, because I would love, especially after seeing the Snyder cut of Justice League. Oh man, that's the Justice League we deserve.
By the way, Snyder cut of Justice League won an Oscar.
That's right.
For best scene. Also, Snyder himself, the cheer is a popular vote one. It's a new thing the Academy is trying, which the Academy and their messes.
Desperate attempt to stay relevant.
Will Smith slapped someone in the face, got kicked out, won an Oscar for it. Not for it, but won an Oscar.
Yeah.
But it also won something from Army of the Dead. I can't remember what was it.
Me neither.
Anyways,
but that was such a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Okay. We saw Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Really fun.
Yeah, definitely. So that was it's an A24 film, and it's a really cool take on like a multiverse thing, and it's a great showcase for Michelle Yeoh and Short Round from Temple of Doom, who has a name but I can't remember it.
Very close, like family feelings and relationships between. It's mostly mother and daughter and the end of the world.
But a lot of husband-wife too.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. And it's a small movie that gets big and then goes back to small and then ends really, really nicely. Yeah.
So it's well made, and it plays on some popular themes right now, like the whole multiverse thing, but it does it in a very original way, and a unique way. So I definitely recommend that one.
Yeah.
I think those are all the big ones we've
seen. Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum is on the Lost City.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's funny.
Yeah.
I can't remember who did it, who directed, produced it. But it has Sandra Bullock. She does it really well, those type of comedies.
Yeah, this plays to like all of her strengths.
And Channing Tatum doesn't do bad
Truly
as well.
Hilarious.
I have Brad Pitt in a very funny cameo.
Very brief, but holy cow, he packs in a lot.
Yeah.
And Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Great villain. And Sandra Bullock said of the day, it's like about Daniel, I guess someone asked about he becoming the next Wolverine, which is a rumor there's all over the web these days. And she said, give the man the role already. Because,
He's done well out of those those kids from the Harry Potter films. He's definitely the one who's shown the most acting ability as he's grown up.
Yeah, too white.
The most range.
I don't know. Too white.
Well, he's English.
Being skinny, I guess he can get tough, but being too white, I don't know if he could.
There's only so much he can do.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of sun in England.
Yeah,
We joke about that a lot.
Anyways, maybe a season in California.
Yeah.
A season or two. Anyways, anything
Either
else?
way.
What else we saw that is worth mentioning?
Gosh, I think. Well, I almost said that was everything on my list, and then you brought up Lost City, but I think that about covers it. There's been some really fun, really good movies that have come out. Oh, what was the? Oh no, never mind. That one wasn't great. We've been watching some good miniseries. We Crash, which we're finishing this week, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The finale comes out tomorrow.
Season 2, The Flight Attendant, starts this week.
Started yesterday.
Yeah.
What was it today?
So I guess those
One
are
of
things
those.
we're gonna watch, but yeah, there's just a lot of good stuff on right now. So I basically outsourced my memory to my phone.
Cyrano, we saw Cyrano, Uncharted, Moonfall.
Did we talk about those?
No.
I honestly can't remember how long it's been. Okay, Cyrano, lovely musical. Peter Dinklage does everything that you would expect him to do. It was a lovely adaptation. Uncharted is a heist movie that turns into an Indiana Jones movie and then finishes as a pirate movie.
And we find out at the
And then
end
comes
that
back
it was
to
actually a prequel to the video games.
Yeah. So, super fun.
It works.
good.
He's not Nathan Drake, but it works in a, I guess, younger version of Nathan Drake. Yeah.
And Moonfall, again, was very fun. If you like Roland Emmerich films, like Independence Day and 2012 and The Day After Tomorrow, you like this one because it has all of Roland Emmerich's tropes.
Yes.
The sweet nerd who saves the day, the very tenuous grasp of the laws of physics and how they work. Spectacular, destructive special effects.
Or the truth about laws of physics.
You're right. Maybe that is
the laws
truth.
of physics that we're not able to understand because we're not flat earthers or paramedical earthers or geodecadron earthers.
Yeah, those are all words.
Geodecadron? is that the dodecadron is like 10 shapes, 10 sizes. Yeah. Okay. You're welcome, Internet.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we saw.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you have anything else to add to that?
I mean, I don't know. I mentioned something else, but we saw Sing 2. But yeah, that's we talked that too. But news, what's going on? Elon Musk wants to buy Twitter.
Yeah.
And he offered 43 billion, and Twitter said, yeah. And he's like, fine, I do 46, and I have all in my pocket, cash. So there's this whole hostile takeover, all smart takeover, it's not nothing hostile about buying something, right? Unless you're buying, I don't know, Morbius to give me as a birthday gift, that would be hostile.
That would be a great way to say, I don't like you, Alan.
Yeah. Netflix stocks is dropping profusively because, first of all, they announced that they lost subscribers.
Yeah.
Which, last year there was a whole controversy about the kids movie. I can't remember the name. I want to say Cuties, but that sounds like that zombie movie with Rainn Wilson. Anyways, and people boycotted and started boycotting, and it keeps losing subscribers for social, political, personal taste reasons. But the CEO is blaming password sharing. which
right.
it's like you wouldn't lose 20 million subscribers because of that.
Yeah, and it definitely has nothing to do with the fact that the pandemic is essentially wrapping up, life is going back to normal, and there's a bajillion other streaming services out there
yes,
with phenomenal content.
There's a lot of competitors.
Yeah,
and also
really
also inflation. Going through inflation times, people need to cut costs. Boom.
Yeah,
Netflix.
That's an easy one to cut.
Yeah. Anyways,
because they also raise prices, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they go into a crisis too. One of the investors dropped I can't remember. It was $2 billion of his stocks, which causes the stocks to go even lower. Mm-hmm. Disney is going to a lot of controversy because they went against a parent and education rights law in Florida. Mm-hmm. Some LGBTQ plus minus whatever on the company demonstrate unfavor to that law and push the company to go against that. So they talked about it and then leaked meetings with high people at Disney about working hard and putting trans characters and the type of characters on Disney products that leaked, and all that together is making people think more about Disney and canceling Disney trips, canceling Disney subscriptions. So Disney stocks are going down to what else? What's my notes?
Something about fast.
Twitter, Netflix. Okay. Yep. Vin Diesel announced the new Fast X. I mean, no need to announcement. You know, it's coming. You can hear the
yes,
the scream of the motors,
fuel and Corona in the air.
But first he announced. I think it was right after the Oscars. Announced that Brie Larson's gonna be involved in next one. And this week was posted the logo. Ooh. Fast X, Fast 10. This artist, I can't remember his name, Boss Logic, made Fast Triple X. If you know Vin Diesel, he was Triple X. It would be a crossover multiverse if they meet each other like Spider-Man did. But yeah. So it was confirmed that Charlize Theron is gonna be back, and Wong Ling, I can't remember. Justin Lee's gonna direct, and the Japanese kid, I can't remember his name. He's gonna be back as well, because they're big bads and they work for bigger bads. There's always bigger fish, and I guess you're gonna learn more about that.
I learned a fun fact about Vin Diesel today.
Yeah,
or not today, but this past week. He's a huge D&D fan, Dungeons and Dragons fan. Yes.
I know he was a huge nerd.
He's also a huge fan of The Witcher.
Oh.
From before the series. In fact, he tried to make a Witcher type adaptation.
Oh, wow.
Ended up having to call it something else, but he did make a fantasy Witcher inspired film.
Oh, really?
He's a fan to the point that the creators of Critical Role and Vox Machina, which are it's a big Dungeons and Dragons podcast that turned into a comic book and a Netflix animation. Anyway, Matt Mercer, who runs all of that, created a new character class for Vin Diesel called Blood Hunters, who are heavily inspired by Witcher. So now
Blood Hunter. There was a comic book movie that we saw. He was some blood. What was it called? Blood.
No, it's not that one. Where they're like soldiers and they mess with their blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's different.
But the name is Blood something. I can't remember.
Yeah. So yeah. There's a whole class exists in Dungeons and Dragons because of Vin Diesel.
Wow.
Yeah. So what I really want to see is Vin Diesel and Joe Manganiello sit down together and play Dungeons and Dragons.
Why Manganiello?
Well, because the two of them are all like, these like big, buff, like action, athletic-looking guys. And it just defies all the stereotypes. And
I guess it would have to be Manganiello because it wouldn't be The Rock because apparently they don't like each other.
Yeah, well, who said The Rock is into... Manganiello's a big Dungeons and Dragons fan as well.
Oh, really? Okay,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. No, he's got massive collections of all kinds of stuff. Anyway, there's a bunch of nerds out there, and Vin Diesel is one of them. So there you go.
Okay. Yeah, I knew he was a huge nerd.
Well, that's how big a nerd he is.
He was on an interview years ago. His parents were actors and very, very
like hippies and artists. And
he started as a serious actor. He was in Saving Private Ryan, right? And it's fun. You see interviews of him. At least back in the day, I'm not watching interviews of him lately. But he doesn't sound at all like the big tough guy, you know. He's like he laughs like he's so not
lighthearted.
He was like, oh, ballet, I love ballet and stuff like that. Like, oh, okay. Anyways, but yeah, cool. Vin Diesel, triple X,
nope.
Fast X.
Fast X.
Yeah. Anything else?
Oh, I think that's plenty.
Yeah, okay, so the words keep spinning and there's a lot more news. Next week we're gonna see like next week?
Yes. Is it? No. Is Doctor Strange out yet?
No, Doctor Strange is at the end of May, right?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, no,
May
May 5th.
The beginning of May.
Okay.
So that's just a couple weeks.
So next week, I don't know, we're gonna see something.
Yeah.
And you're gonna come back and talk. And if you don't see it, we're gonna just come back and talk about stuff that I see. We're gonna finish We Crash. We're gonna watch some new stuff. Like Apple has some new shows that we want to watch. There's Severance. There's Slow Horses, and there's what's the name of that one?
I don't even
know.
That
one too. Anyways, I think that's it for this week. We see you next week.
Okay. Live long and prosper.
May the force be with you.
Bye.
Bye.